I don't want my kids to go through what we are dealing with now.
We used to have blizzards, lots of snow. It's too warm now.
When I built this house, there was still more ground out there. We're right on the edge of the beach now.
When I'm older, I don't see Shishmaref on this island anymore.
Shishmaref, Alaska is a small Inupiat village just south of the Arctic Circle. The winter sun is scarce, and when it rises, the place is frozen in twilight. It's a harsh, cold environment, a community that survives on ice.
We need the ice to go out and hunt for our seals, to get our fish, and we rely so much off the land and the sea.
Isa Sinuk is 19 and grew up on this barrier island. His parents raise huskies for sledding and harvest chunks of ice for drinking water. Today, they pull tomcod from a lagoon. The water froze weeks later than normal, the surface just thick enough to fish. Inupiat people have lived here for at least 400 years. But now Isa and his family's greatest fears are being realized. It looks like this community won't last much longer. The culprit? Climate change. Scientists say the Arctic is heating up more than twice as fast as the rest of the planet.
What would be the future of this island if people don't move?
Then we're gonna be underwater, John. Yeah, this island is done.
A trip here then is like a trip into a disturbing future.
After one of the big storms, almost all of your neighbors left.
Yeah, all the neighbors move over that way to that other end.
This is Isa's grandfather, Shelton Kakiak. He lives with his wife Clara in a tiny blue house at the edge of the earth. It's a location that's newly precarious. As temperatures rise, the ocean is freezing later and thawing earlier. That makes the land more susceptible to erosion. Seawalls attempt to hold the island in place, but big chunks of earth have fallen into the sea. The island is slowly disappearing. This is where the coast was expected to be in 2013, and here's where it's expected to be by about mid-century.
That ground was way out there, several hundred feet out there. And there was lots of beach, lots of beach. Climate change is happening real fast.
Shelton worries his house could fall off the edge. That kind of thing has happened before.
Tell me about that picture. Like, what is that and what happened?
That picture is my husband's house that he grew up in. Now it's in the ocean. If you went down that way today or recently, it's not there.
Annie Weawana is a local official in Shishmaref, which has a population of about 560. And because of these dramatic changes, she and this village are faced with an almost unthinkable task. They're planning to move to a safer location. Last summer, during the hottest year on record, residents voted 89 to 78 to relocate because of extreme warming. But without funding, this village is stuck.
We don't have that millions and millions of dollars in our pocket to move. If you have that, give it up. We'd like it.
It's not just Shishmaref. According to a 2009 government report, more than 30 Alaska villages are immediately threatened by erosion and flooding linked to climate change. And 12 of them are said to be exploring relocation options. And this isn't just Alaska either. As oceans warm and ice melts, sea levels are rising worldwide. Miami, Shanghai, New York, all will be threatened with flooding. A town in the Louisiana Bayou already has watched its land disappear, in part because of dams that block vital sediment. But now climate change is threatening to make things even worse. And last year, a local tribe got a $48 million grant to relocate. It's unclear if Shishmaref will be able to get similar funds.
Climate change refugees are what we're going to become in the next few decades.
Some elders, including Isa's grandparents, want to stay, but Isa thinks this community has no choice. In January, Arctic sea ice was at a record low, and temperatures in the region have been soaring to 20 degrees above average in early February. He says the only way to survive is to get out.
If you ask the older generations, like my grandfather, their views are totally different. They want to stay on this island forever and ever. But to me, I think we have to relocate so that our future generations can still be alive.
Climate change and relocation have become deeply personal for him. Esau's uncle Norman, Shelton's son, fell through the ice and died on a hunting trip in 2007. Elders say the ice where he died should have been frozen that time of year. Esau believes that climate change played a role in his uncle's death.
There's not a day that goes by that I do not think of him. He's always on my mind. He's always in my heart.
The death propelled Esau into advocacy. Now he's an ambassador for youth in the Arctic, getting recognized by the Obama White House and attending international climate negotiations in Paris.
I really love that because I get to tell my story. I get to tell that climate change is real.
It's a subject that's difficult, but he's not bitter.
I don't blame it on one person or a group of people. It's all our fault. It's not 1940s anymore. We can't use fossil fuels anymore to heat our homes, to use for our energy. We could transition from dirty fossil fuels to renewable energies.
And as for those who deny the science of climate change, Esau offers them an invitation. Come to Shishmaref, he says. Up here, the facts are undeniable.